Hi, I'm Olivia Zeitlin and I'm a forensic toxicologist. As a forensic toxicologist, I test bodily fluids and tissue samples in order to see if there are drugs present in the body. Forensic toxicologists work alongside forensic pathologists and crime scene investigators to test evidence they find at the crime scene or during an autopsy. Forensic toxicologists look for the presence of alcohol, illegal drugs, prescription drugs, other chemicals, metals, poisons, and gases, such as carbon monoxide, that could have resulted in the death of the victim. The work as a forensic toxicologist requires patience and the ability to follow steps and distinctive directions. The forensic toxicologist must document every step of the process and take care to follow the chain of custody. Most forensic toxicologists work in labs run by law enforcement agencies, medical examiners, or private drug testing facilities. Most work full-time at these labs. Forensic toxicologists are expected to work with pathologists, coroners, and medical examiners to help establish the role of alcohol, drugs, and poisons in the causation of death. Forensic toxicologists also work on cases involving environmental contamination to determine the impact of chemical spills on nearby populations. They also can work to test animal hair for the presence of alcohol, drugs, or poisons in order to see if they had any role in a case that needed to be solved or finding the perpetrator of a crime.
In this situation, here we have a dead body. It clearly looks like this man overdosed on Tide Pods. We will not touch the evidence yet because we do not have all of our safety gear. When arriving at the crime scene, we would have a crime scene investigator come and collect hair evidence and any other evidence lying around the scene. When they take the body to do an autopsy, they would take hair samples and other samples and bring them to me, a forensic toxicologist. There, I would study those samples and see if he actually overdosed on Tide Pods.
Forensic scientists need many pieces of equipment to test the samples that are given to them. They use microscopes and spectrometers, which are important to test for the presence of chemicals and alcohol. But with what you have at home, you have a beaker. Most people have one of these. And then all forensic toxicologists use gloves so they do not contaminate the substance that they are testing. They also use syringes in case they're testing bodily fluids, tweezers if they have a small sample of hair or any tissue sample from the body. Scissors are important if they get a large strand of hair that needs to be cut up and tested. A measuring tape to measure the strands of hair. In addition, forensic toxicologists generally make a salary in between $34,000 a year to $64,000 a year, but depending on your state and how good of a forensic toxicologist you are and how long you've been in the field, it can result in a higher pay raise. A forensic toxicologist generally has a bachelor's or master's degree in chemistry, clinical chemistry, or pharmacology, or any scientific field pertaining to forensics and chemistry. Some universities now offer master's or bachelor's degrees in forensic toxicology. When you are looking for a school to go to, be sure to make sure the program at that specific school is approved by the Forensic Science Education Program Accreditation Committee. Some of the schools that have great programs for forensic science and forensic toxicology are the University of Kentucky, Texas A&M, Penn State, and Syracuse. If a forensic toxicologist is asked to testify in court, they must be ready to prepare and justify their opinion and explain the complex methodologies used in their lab in terms a jury can understand. One of the most important scientists in toxicology was Alexander Gettler. He was known as the founding father of toxicology in America. He worked in NYU and often worked to synthesize poisons into a form that could be tested with the human body. He pioneered the field of toxicology for other toxicologists later on and was the first to use a spectrometer in a case to prove that a man was not guilty of murdering his 4 children and wife. Overall, being a toxicologist is a very important job. It is necessary for us to figure out what caused a death and bring justice to a victim.